Let's talk about frequency in Healy. Greetings, I'm Jahnan Derso. And first we're going to look at the application of energy. Healy boasts 144,000 specific individualized microcurrent frequencies, which are delivering what your cells need in real time. What does this mean? It means the Healy is capable of listening to your body, delivering what it needs, and adapting and changing as those body needs change. We've got the resonance, the Healy coil, and the microcurrent as the ways that we are communicating and affecting change in the body. All three are different ways to influence your bioenergetic field, with frequencies for cellular health between 0.1 and 1 million hertz. So briefly, the microcurrent works on the most physical level. It's working bottom up from the cellular level, entering the body via cables. Then we have the coil, where no wires are involved. It has a similar effect to the microcurrent, but it's not as direct. I wouldn't call it a replacement, though. Then there's the quantum sensor, also known as resonance. And this touches the highest level of information and intention. So it is working from the furthest out information field on an intention level and then trickling down to the cellular level. So most physical. Let's go ahead and look at the microcurrent option. Your Healy comes with bracelets and electrodes. The information is cellularly applied with the bracelets. Then the cells share the energy that they produce with each other. These are most often worn on the wrists, but they can also be worn on the ankles, depending upon the program you're using and where you would want to see the effects. The electrodes are often used for the pain programs, and these are worn where directed by the IMF picture when you start a program. All of this is accessed through your Pink app of programs, and these come with purchase of any of the models. So how to wear your bracelets. I like to put them 2 finger widths lower from each wrist. So you want that connection to be on the inside on that pericardium point in acupressure. Then you want to place a small amount of water between the skin and the black underside of the bracelet to ensure connectivity. You want to use clean, clear water, not fluoridated, chlorinated, and to increase the effectiveness, you can use a mineral water. Drink water to be hydrated enough for the current to flow into your body. The general rule of thumb is divide your weight in half, and that's how many ounces you need a day. You want to drink a glass of water before and after each session, especially. Increase the percentage until you feel a tingle, and then you take it down a notch because you don't actually want to feel it. Then you're drawing too much attention to it, and it's not going to be as effective. This can change throughout your session, so you may want to be able to decrease or increase that percentage during your program. So if you get the message that indicates no measurable current is being received by your body, but the information is flowing, you want to check all of the above. Check your cables, check your water. Maybe you need to rehydrate between the skin. The key factor is you have to have enough water to carry the microcurrent. It is doing the heavy lifting. If it's not working, you potentially are still dehydrated. Now the Healy coil. This is a powerful addition to the Healy experience. Nikola Tesla taught us that you don't need wires if you have 2 magnetic fields of different polarities with a current running between them. The Bifler-Tesla coil is creating this situation, sending it directly into the energy field. The opening and closing of the cell is also a magnetic process. So the coil is working with this process, co-creating the current to act by touching the cells and the energy level. The key factor when using the coil is that it gets weaker the further it goes out from the magnet. So you can keep in mind that the coil has a 3-foot range. You are using the Pink app to connect your coil. The electrical currents of the Healy IMF programs flow through the Healy coil and generate two magnetic fields with opposing field lines, which can cancel each other out, with the magnetic quantum potential, nevertheless remaining unchanged. This is called the Aharonov-Bohm effect. In this way, quantum potential frequencies, further called QPF, are created. With these QPF, the pure frequency is being transferred to the bioenergetic field on a deeper layer. Quantum potential frequencies can thus resonate with biological organisms without transmitting any actual physical energy. Pure information is vibrating. I have taken this from a Healy corporate document because I find this essential to understand why we can be using a magnet to change our physical body despite there being only an energetic flow of information going on. The Healy coil is designed to use the IMF programs at 30 to 100% intensity to harmonize the bioenergetic field. In your Healy app, the IMF programs are easily identified by the 3 dots to the upper right of the program icon so that you know which ones you can use with the coil, and it's all but about 30 programs that it works with. Now let's look at the quantum sensor. This is in the resonance devices. This feature works with scalar waves. These are frequencies that transcend time and place through quantum entanglement. We are all connected, and our subconscious is all-knowing, but we can't always read that information. The Healy is an interface to read our subconscious. It's like a modern-day translator. This is a mind-matter interaction. The focus statement aligns our intent, while the fingerprint sharpens our intent. Then the sensor amplifies our intent. Intention is paramount because belief or doubt affects the results. This is used through the Blue app. Here's a picture with our founder, Marcus, here in the corner to display the different fields that things are working on. So that first blue arrow on the left side is the microcurrent. The second, the green to blue, is the coil, and the third pink one is the resonance. So one is closer to matter and the molecular body. It goes up and affects the information field slightly, and then the coil is right in the middle there. On the electromagnetic body, the cell membrane potential would still be included, which is why it does affect the cells, not as physically, right, as the molecular body, but still affecting it. And going through the bioenergetic processes into the local bioenergetic field of the body. And then the resonance takes over from here where it affects the local and the non-local, that global information field and the individual information field. Sometimes this visual helps us see it more clearly. So when and how to choose which one? If you want physical effects, you're going to want to use the microcurrents primarily. These are going to work on your cell level and your organ level. The emotional and mental pieces will still be benefited. The mental and emotional effects are going to be found with the coil most, then the resonance, and then still the microcurrents because you will get some effect. The subconscious effects, so here we're talking about the resonance because we want to collapse this bigger timeline of information. If you find that you're working on a blockage that you can't physically or mentally accomplish without more information, you're going to want this cellular optimization benefit of the resonance or the quantum sensor. What I'm also trying to explain here is that they all impact each other. So you're going to get effects on every level with all three. The other piece about the coil and then the resonance is that children and pregnant women are most of the time better off with these because it's going to take the microcurrent out to a more energetic place, which is easier for them as they are more sensitive. Now let's talk about transmission time. This is a big topic. This is a chart from corporate that kind of walks you through what they recommend. I also encourage you to figure out what you most find helpful. And if you do applied kinesiology at all, I would encourage you to test in that way. So how to choose here? You want to pick your time, which is related to hertz. The preset on the Healy is 1 minute and 20 seconds. If in doubt, you can just go with that. This chart is instructing that if it's a conscious mind issue that you're working on, that you would do it for 37 seconds, which is 843 hertz. And you would do this with great frequency. So in a day, potentially 6 times. Or if you find, doing it less still is effective for you, that's what they're offering. Then there's the subconscious mind. This is going to be the 2 minute and 49 second or 600 hertz. And you would do this less often than you would for the conscious mind. They're saying 2 to 3 times a day. You would do the conscious one until you feel success and complete with it, and then perhaps you're going to do a new scan. And for the subconscious, you could potentially do it, every day or every 3 days or once a week for a month, because you're still going to be working on this for a longer amount of time. The other thing is there's the 8 hour, 58 minute, 40 seconds. So we'll call it the 9 hours. And this is a great one if you're doing a coach program on yourself where you're really trying to shift a life belief or an ancestral issue. You can run this overnight while you sleep to affect yourself while you're in more of the theta wave. Because if you're working on a subconscious issue, it's really hard to create change during the day when your conscious mind is extremely active. So you might want to consider the overnight time. The last thing I want to talk about is the incompletion of a program. So if a program stops while you're running it, most likely what happened is it's not your Healy. Your cells are just optimally saturated and you are complete. So go ahead and drink a glass of water and move on. If you need to pause a program, this is okay as long as you return to it within a short amount of time. So to discuss how the programs work, they have a beginning, middle, and an end. The beginning greets your terrain. The middle is the juice of the session, and this is the most potent amount of hertz potentially running. And then the end is the exiting energy. So you want to think of this perhaps as how you hear a song or a dance. There's always this crescendo in the middle. So pausing a program for too long would disturb the intentional harmony that has been designed into the program. So keep that in mind. If it's been a couple hours, you'll just want to start over so that the program can do what it was designed to do for you. Here's to the magic and science of frequency. These are part of my segments on Healy Insights, and I'm Jahnan Derso. Good luck.